The tray slipped from her hands, clattering to the floor, scattering mashed potatoes and gravy across the cold linoleum. Lila Morgan froze, cheeks burning, as a young Marine's shove knocked her sideways. Whispers rippled through the mess hall, smirks and chuckles dancing across faces she barely recognized. She bit back a reply, swallowing the anger that rose like a storm inside her. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you were rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. Lila had only recently arrived at the base, a new recruit fresh from training, eager but underestimated. The military hierarchy was clear to everyone else, but to her, respect had to be earned, not demanded. She straightened, heart hammering, and kept her eyes down, quietly collecting the mess she had dropped. Every second stretched, every glance weighed her courage against the humiliation. She thought this was the end of her dignity. She was wrong. The mess hall smelled of fried eggs, stale coffee, and sweat, the odors blending into the constant murmur of casual banter and clanging trays. Soldiers moved like a tide, ebbing and flowing between tables, unaware of the tension focused on the girl they had just shoved. Lila's mind replayed every moment of her training, the lessons in patience, observation, and strategy. She knew that retaliation wasn't always a matter of force. Sometimes it was about timing and presence. Her hand shook slightly as she picked up the tray. She heard the Marine mutter under his breath, a dismissive laugh, and she felt the sting of every mocking look. Yet beneath the humiliation, she felt a calm focus building, like a spark igniting a fire. She had faced adversity before, but never like this. Never under so many eyes. Never with so much at stake in her reputation alone. Then, the heavy double doors of the mess hall swung open. 4 generals entered, uniforms crisp, boots clicking in perfect rhythm against the linoleum. The room froze. Conversations halted mid-sentence. Eyes widened. And every head turned not toward the Marine, not toward the laughter, but toward her. Time slowed. Lila felt her chest tighten as the generals approached, each one stopping, saluting her with precise, unwavering respect. A murmur rippled through the mess hall, disbelief and awe mixing into the air. The Marine who had shoved her stood frozen, jaw slack, eyes wide as the weight of recognition hit him. Lila's thoughts raced. Why were they saluting her? How had her quiet diligence, unnoticed by most, commanded such respect? Her past hours, months, years of training and discipline flashed before her eyes. Every early morning, every grueling exercise, every moment when she had been underestimated, all of it had led to this instant. She realized then that respect was not demanded through dominance, but earned through competence and unshakable character. The general's salute was not just a formality. It was acknowledgement. It was the recognition of skill, of resilience, of someone who carried herself with integrity and unwavering focus despite ridicule. Lila straightened, allowing herself the faintest hint of a smile. The mess hall buzzed again, this time with whispers of astonishment. Soldiers who had mocked her now watched in silent admiration, their earlier arrogance replaced by newfound respect. Moral tension hung in the air. Could she have called out the Marine? Could she have humiliated him back? She felt the urge, but she had learned a greater lesson. True power was silent, and recognition often came in ways that words and anger could never achieve. The generals moved on, their presence commanding the room with quiet authority. Lila returned to her duties, tray in hand, composure regained, but inside, a quiet elation bloomed. She had faced the insult, endured the shove, and emerged with a victory that no one had anticipated. Her courage, humility, and skill had transformed humiliation into triumph. A soldier approached her cautiously, voice low. I didn't know. He trailed off, unsure how to apologize. Lila shook her head gently. It's fine. Just pay attention next time. No bitterness, only calm confidence. The lesson had been taught, silently but powerfully. The mess hall returned to its rhythm, yet the story lingered. Every glance, every nod from the soldiers carried the subtle acknowledgement of her authority and skill. Lila had been underestimated, mocked, and pushed aside, but in moments. She had turned that doubt into respect, transforming a simple mess hall encounter into a defining moment of her journey. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. Sunlight filtered through the windows, dust particles floating lazily in the golden beams. The clatter of trays and chatter of soldiers continued, but beneath the surface, respect had shifted. Leela Morgan walked with a steadier step, her quiet power leaving a lasting impression. A reminder that true strength often emerges in the most unexpected moments. Whispered words leaves you with this truth. Humility, patience, and quiet competence can command more respect than force ever could. Comment where you're watching from, like, and subscribe for more unforgettable stories of courage, skill, and quiet heroism. Every story is a lesson. Don't miss the next one.